Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We're not doing a traditional episode this week, but I'm back.
Hey, look, it's Laura. Laura's here. What a special occasion.
So, with TV's Noah, not as always, is Laura Prince.
Yes.
I'm Laura Prince, and this is Noah Houlihan, and this is going to be a fun episode.
What happens in Vegas
Gets put on the podcast.
gets put on a podcast for later. Guys, we're just back from Vegas.
Yes, we had a lot of fun.
Las Vegas,
Yes.
just to clarify.
We had a lot of fun, and we are here to kind of just chat about what we did and what we saw. And
Yes, one thing that has been suggested to us over and over again is the fact that our fans really like when we cover theme park content.
yes,
And newsflash, Vegas is just adult Epcot.
it really is. It's very much in that vein of theme park content, theme park-esque. Vegas is very much what you make Vegas, more
Yes.
than nearly every other place I've been. You can just do the hangover experience kind of deal in Vegas. You can go to you could stay in one building the entire time you're in Vegas.
Yes.
And just drink, eat, and party and gamble. Or
you can walk for miles like we did.
or you can try to go to nearly every property on the Strip.
Yes, so we stayed mostly on the Strip. We did venture out a few times, and we thought we would tell you guys about our insane journey.
Yeah, I was just doing some quick math. We did use the Sophia Nygaard and Ruby Travels
Yes.
videos to plan a lot of our trip. And Sophia talks about how there are 33 Strip properties. We went to the majority of them.
Yes.
Most of the ones we didn't do were technically not Strip properties.
Yeah.
We're technically not like resorts.
Yeah, they weren't casinos.
They were mostly
shared
just
a
like
casino.
boutique hotels, like the Waldorf Astoria, the Four Seasons, the Delano. We did go into the Nomad because we stayed in the Park MGM. Mm-hmm. But we mostly stuck to the big casino resorts. So, where do we want to start?
I think we should do this chronologically.
Okay, so I, for posterity, have opened my Google Photos. Mm-hmm. And it's perfect because the very first photo is of the Philadelphia airport parking lot.
Yes.
To remind myself, by the way, if you park in Garage B, spot U30, that's where we parked.
That was our spot. So we flew out Saturday night.
We flew out like Saturday midday and arrived Saturday at about 6 p.m. local time, which is a super fascinating time to arrive in Las Vegas.
Yes, and we didn't do much the first night. We just kind of wandered around, took in the sights.
It was a lot of foreshadowing. We
Yes.
found some things that we really wanted to do later, and we mostly just walked around and kind of absorbed. Like there's a picture of Excalibur, there is a picture of the MGM Grand Lion, there is a picture of the New York Statue of Liberty, and we walked around Paris, and we walked around the Horseshoe.
Yes. Fantastic play. It's fun to walk around if you know the scams.
Yes.
Because, wow, the scams are strong.
Let's start with some of the scams, because
Yes.
if any of our gentle listeners ever decide to go to Vegas, and WrestleMania next year is in Vegas, so there's a really good chance some of our listener base may go.
Yeah. So the first one, I would say, the most common one we saw were the showgirls.
Yes.
So basically, there are always these pairs of showgirls.
Always two.
Always two. That are always like, hey guys, welcome to Vegas. Get our picture. Let's get the
Are you
picture."
ready for your picture?
Yes.
It's always, are you ready for your picture? Because it implies that, it almost implies I know there's always the thing of like when you get off the plane in Hawaii.
Yeah, they just give you a lay.
Yes.
So there is kind of this wording of like, you're in Vegas, it's time for your picture with the showgirls.
Yes.
And you take the picture, and then the showgirls are like, okay, it's $50 each. Which is insane.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about it is, there are people that legitimately want pictures with showgirls, so it feels less scammy. because you can just walk up and be like, how much? And you can negotiate with them. What I found is the best reply to make them go away is, we already got one. Because that, like, there's no argument against that. It's just like, okay, all right, next.
I think the interesting one is, as a girl, I could go, no, I just got off the plane, look at me. And they'd all be like, yeah, fair. Like, if I just look like, I'm like, no, look at me. I just came in from the heat. I look like crap. Maybe later.
But there are tons of them all around. And then also there's a lot of people, like, in costumes.
Yes, if you've seen Times Square Elmo, you'll love Dissociating Las Vegas Minnie Mouse.
Yes, we ran into Minnie Mouse quite a bit, who was never really trying, but just seemed to be, like...
staring into the middle distance.
Yeah, Blair Witch staring.
We'd have to paw through my pictures. There might be a picture of her that I took, like, a sneak picture of her, because...
It seemed like what kept happening was Minnie Mouse kept setting up shop, and then the Transformers would roll up. And then Minnie Mouse would be like, well, no one cares about me anymore. We did catch Minnie Mouse smoking.
Yes.
And it was like a 60-year-old Asian man. You're Minnie Mouse? Another hard day being the mouse.
The other very common one we saw were people who tried to tie a bracelet around your wrist or hand you a bracelet. We saw a lot of that.
They are aggressive, too. It's not like they don't say words to you. They just show up holding something, like, in your face, and they try to throw it around your wrist immediately so that they can then demand money. So I often would, when I saw them, put my hands behind my back and hold my wrists and walk past them. Like, they were the closest I came to, like, telling someone to F off.
That was not the closest I came.
Yeah.
Because I did tell off a barker.
Yes.
A gentleman, I guess the male equivalent to the showgirls.
Yes. This was...
He was wearing black jeans, a cowboy hat, and no shirt.
Yeah, he was also out with some girls that were, like, dressed as sexy cops. I'm not sure if you noticed them, but...
No, because I really didn't, like, register them until he did not speak to me.
Yeah, so, sexy cowboy walks up to me and says, can I embarrass her for a moment? And Laura responds,
no, and also you speak to me directly.
And this is the big difference between a barker in Vegas and a barker in New York. In New York, once you, like, disengage with them, they move on to the next mark in New York. In Vegas, they always make a big show when you say no of acting like hurt. It's always like, oh, I was just trying to... Like, they play on this weird, like, sympathy thing that I don't see elsewhere, that I hate it.
Well, it's great because I'm more used to New York.
Yeah.
So I have no feelings. They can try that, but I'm just like...
Yeah, but, like, in New York, they don't. In
New
York, they don't try. In Vegas, it was constantly like, oh, I was just trying to help you. Oh, I was just... And, oh, like, it's so manipulative, and I hated it.
Yeah, it didn't really... I just, like, my ability to stare forward and ignore people was in full...
Yes.
Full display. Like, Noah laughed, because whenever we were in the Excalibur, when they were barking for thunder from down under, he would just watch me go blank-eyed and just move forward.
Yeah.
Dead-eyed like a shark.
They were constantly trying to throw beads over our necks, and we're like, no!
Now, that being said, they were barking for a show. I don't think it was the same kind of scam.
Oh, no, it certainly wasn't.
They were trying to drum up interest in a show in that hotel casino. You would also see the nightclub promoters, and they are not, to my knowledge, scams unless they're asking for money.
Yeah.
If they're just trying to give you a card, it's fine, from what I understand, because they are they're trying to get guest lists for the clubs, because there's a lot of competition.
Because their big move is they would whack their card real loud to get you to look.
That's not the same thing. That's not the nightclub promoters. They are promoting something else.
Oh.
Yes.
What?
A lot of them are promoting escort services.
Oh. How do you know that?
I looked over at one, and he had a big T-shirt promoting escort services.
Then I don't remember any nightclub people. Because everyone I walked by were whacking their cards really loud.
Oh, a lot of them would be like, hey, are you going clubbing tonight? Like, they would just ask a normal question. And we don't look like... We're nerds.
Yeah, we don't look like clubbers.
We're nerds. I was usually in, like, a little patterned sundress. I usually looked like a Disney princess portal had opened up and thrown me up into Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of how I dress in my daily life. So I think they didn't look at us and go like, oh, they're going to go clubbing. They looked at us and went, is she going to start a musical number in the middle of the casino floor? Do we need to call someone? Did she get lost on the way to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Because that's what I look like. I perpetually look like I'm Disney bounding as a princess during the I Want song. And I'm not. Oh, another thing. We stayed at the Park MGM. The first picture that comes up from the next day is you. If you're watching this on YouTube, Noah will probably put this picture up here.
Yeah.
It's Noah standing miserably at a payphone.
Yes, so we stayed at the Park MGM where Maroon 5 is playing.
You look so bad.
And they had a big payphone. Because I'm at a payphone trying to... Hopefully we don't get a strike because that was perfect for what Maroon 5 sounds like. My wavelengths look crazy on my computer.
Almost like you screamed into a microphone.
No, perfectly doing Maroon 5. And
we're big Todd in the Shadows fans, so it was fun to see Maroon 5.
So you can get your picture taken in the payphone, and I, like, picked it up to play with it. And then, like, I hit a number just because I was like, I don't know, I'll look like I'm doing something. And as soon as I hit the number, payphone started playing. And I just looked at Laura in disgust, and that's when she perfectly took the photo. I don't know why I didn't see that coming, but that's what happened. So we stayed at the Park MGM. I would give that 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, so the Park MGM is the only smoke-free hotel and casino, and that worked for me. Just because I don't like cigarette smoke.
Yeah, we're not smokers, so it was great to have a place that was like, you could breathe.
It was relatively inexpensive for Vegas.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like one of the cheaper ones. Because Vegas is like, definitely has a like 1 to 5. I would say MGM is solidly in the middle of like price range. Yeah. I wouldn't say there's a lot of ones on the strip. Circus maybe.
Yeah.
Even like Excalibur maybe is like on the one side, but like Luxor, New York, I'd put it maybe like a 2.
Yeah.
And then there's stuff like the Waldorf Astoria and the Four Seasons that like we didn't even sniff around. So we started our first full day. The Hello Kitty Cafe truck.
Yes, we went to the Hello Kitty Cafe truck was our first stop.
First real stop in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, we did fall into the other Vegas trap. There is a Vegas trap we did fall into the first night.
Oh, you're talking about the chicken sandwich?
Yes. So if you watch the Sophia Nygaard video, she complains about stopping at the Johnny Rockets in Luxor and spending $70 on 3 chicken sandwiches and fries.
And I watched that, I was like, what an idiot. I would never do that. And then the first thing I did was spend $60 on chicken sandwiches at a Wingstop.
Yeah, because what we realized is that the ceiling is very high and the floor is pretty high. But if you're in like the mid-range for food, you can actually eat better at a lot of sit-down places than a lot of counter services.
Yeah, counter services are charging you more for the convenience and speed.
Yes.
But like, had we gone to a sit-down restaurant, we probably would have paid the same amount of money.
This is the one thing I would definitely say is we didn't do a lot of research on food because we just assumed there would always be food around.
Yeah, that's not the case.
There's always food around, but it might not be what you want. And it might be, again, the quick service type places are very expensive. Because we're some, variant of Disney adult. We're used to, like, abusive theme park pricing. Mm-hmm. But Vegas is really abusive theme park pricing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to look something up as an experiment. I wanted to look up what a bottle of water and a bottle of soda cost in Disney World. Right. Because we're very used to abusive theme park pricing.
Yes.
How much was a soda generally in Las Vegas? Like a bottled soda.
I don't remember, because I feel like every time we got something like that, we went into like a CVS where the prices were normal.
They would be about $5, $6, because I always kind of kept an eye on.
Okay.
Because if it had been like a couple dollars, I'd been like, eh. Because we did go into CVS's and Walgreens a lot. We had a great ATM hack for Target. If you don't want to use the ATMs in the casinos that were expensive, we went to Target, bought 2 big bottles of water, used their debit option, and got cash out that way. So instead of paying a $4 ATM fee, we got $4 worth of giant bottles of water.
Yeah.
Which was 2 bottles of water. In Disney World, a soft drink bottle is $4.49, which is about $1.50 less than a lot of the ones we saw in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And a bottled water is $3.50.
Okay.
Bottles of water tended to also run about $5, $6.
Yes.
So Vegas pricing is legitimately horrible. When I was researching this trip and like budgeting, I did kind of use Disney pricing.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the worst it could be.
No, it can be much worse.
No, so all this to say, fast casual meals in Vegas tend to be pretty abusively priced, often more than quick service meals.
Yeah.
In the Sophia Nygaard video, she talks about they go to Evertually, which is a food, like a...
fancy food court.
It's a fancy themed food court, and everything's Italian food, like legitimate Italian food, not like pizzeria Italian food. And she said they don't spend that much more than Johnny Rockets.
Yeah.
On like real beautiful food.
Yeah.
So in Vegas, it's actually kind of worth it to just go a little better. Mm-hmm. Because you're spending maybe $5 to $10 more on a much better experience.
I mean, we went to the Hello Kitty truck and we spent basically what we'd spend at a Starbucks these days.
Yes.
I mean, we also then bought pins and stuff, but
yeah,
drinks we got were...
Yeah, I think the pastries were a touch more, but we did buy specialized pastries.
Yes, so...
But the lattes were a little cheaper than Starbucks is nowadays. Mm-hmm. And you got a Hello Kitty donut. How was your Hello Kitty donut?
It was good. There was a big fondant bow on it that I couldn't finish because it was a giant fondant bow. But it was a good donut. It was a donut.
I got a Rice Krispie treat with Bats Maru's face on it. And that was also covered in fondant, but I ate it.
Yes. Well, that's because you also had a Rice Krispie treat. The bow was like bigger than the donut part. So you couldn't spread it out. You had to just eat a fondant bow. And
I also bought a pen because it's me.
Yes. So then what did we do?
We walk around New York for a while. And for a while, we're doing Double or Nothing that evening.
Yes.
So the next few pictures are us very much exploring. Our plan had been, we're going to get Hello Kitty coffee, and then we're going to spend the day getting to MGM Grand.
Right.
Because everything we'd read said, like, it's very hard to get around, it's not as walkable as it looks, give yourself a ton of time to get everywhere if you're going to try to walk because it's so hot. So here's us in Excalibur, here's us in Luxor. We just walk around those 3 resorts for a while.
Yeah.
But we explore, we're kind of like looking at every nook and cranny, and I acquaint Noah with the concept of spelunking.
Yes.
You can get between a lot of places in Vegas and not go outside.
Yes, and you don't want to go outside because it's 100 degrees.
It was, in fact, 100 degrees.
So we stayed mostly in the casinos, and we're big on just like exploring and taking pictures. So we were just kind of walking around, enjoying stuff until it was getting closer to Double or Nothing time.
Yes. The line for Double or Nothing started to get bad at like 2 o'clock for doors at 3.
Yeah.
And I looked over at you and went, it's assigned seating.
It's assigned seating. Because it got backed up to the point where there was like just like one of those corner shops where you could buy just like water and stuff like that. And I bought 2 bottles of water. And the guy selling them to me actually said, I hate these smelly wrestling people. I was like, thanks. And I got in line.
But I'm looking at the pictures of us in our seats. You are in a salmon-colored shirt.
Yes, I'm wearing a bright pink shirt that basically I wanted to stand out on camera. And like we got in at 3 o'clock local time. The countdown show didn't start till 4 o'clock.
Yeah, like, it was doors at 3. Buy-in was supposed to start at 3:30, but nothing we could see in buy-in started at 3:30.
Yeah.
Like, we could see RJ City, Renee Paquette, and Jeff Jarrett from where we were sitting.
Yes.
Doing the pre-show, but, like, we couldn't hear them.
Yeah, I saw RG City bored on his phone, and I took a picture of him and tweeted, "Get off Twitter," and he liked it.
And I responded, "Hey, stop stealing jokes," because I had said that verbally.
Yes, and I stole it and did it, and I got the like from RJ City.
Ugh. The pre-show matches were Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, crowd was super into that match.
Yes, and there was a great moment where there was a chant for women's wrestling.
Loved it.
And I like both of those contenders a lot. So I had a really good time during that match. I'm going to be honest, I forget what the other pre-show match was, because I was super excited about Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo.
I honestly don't think I could tell you either. There definitely was one.
It
was the Acclaimed. It was the Acclaimed versus Gates of Agony.
Yes. I forgot that wasn't on the main card.
Yeah.
And that's right. Chance, the Las Vegas Knights mascot, got involved.
Yes, who's a dragon.
A Gila monster, apparently.
Oh, he's not a dragon.
Yeah,
I'm a racist against lizards.
No.
Of different kinds.
We thought he was a dragon because it's the Knights. Because at first you're like, is this a snake? Is that a lizard?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's a dragon because it's the Las Vegas Knights. I looked up the card for Double or Nothing to see what the next pre-show match was, and it says Chance the Gila.
Gila monster.
So, yeah, so the first match of the night is Ospreay and Strong.
Ospreay is so over.
Oh my god.
Will Ospreay, like, we were in a section that had a giant bruv sign.
Yeah, they each had two people had BR, and then several people had U's.
Yeah.
Then V exclamation point.
Yes, bruv. Which I don't know if it made it to TV. I hope it did, because it was really funny.
There's a few things that we saw that I hope made it to TV.
Yeah. But wow, like, the pop for Ospreay was insane. What a great match. I kept yelling out loud, I forgot Roddy Strong was this good at wrestling. Because, like, Roddy's been such a joke character for so long that I was like, oh yeah, he's really good. What a match those two had.
Yeah, I mean, and I do really like Ospreay. I really liked Ospreay's Hey EW episode too.
Yes, fantastic.
And then like the match he had with Danielson, like I was blown away. And I'm not like I always tell Noah I would be a terrible commentator because I don't know what a lot of the moves are called. I like watching wrestling, but I don't know what anything is.
Yeah.
And I was riveted start to finish with both Ospreay matches on pay-per-views this year. They were just both so incredible.
Ospreay was so good, and then that led to Adam Cole coming out and yelling at us.
Yeah.
And it's so tough with Adam Cole because he's supposed to be a heel, but we were also happy to see him.
Yeah.
And yell boom and Adam Cole, baby, Adam. And I start to realize that Adam Cole's not really saying anything. He's just calling us dumb and saying he's great. There's no purpose to this promo. And I start yelling, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Noah is freaking out like the apocalypse is about to happen. He's like, oh my god, it's happening. It's gonna happen. He's coming. He's coming.
And I was like, what? And then lights go out, and here comes MJF.
And like, until I physically saw him, I thought it was going to be... I was like, I don't want to get super excited because he's going to not come out and it's going to be like a video going like, stupid Marks, you thought I was coming?
I was worried it was going to be Adam Cole being like, you really thought he was coming out? He's dead. He's gone. I've purged AEW of MJF.
Instead, there he was.
Looked amazing.
He looked fantastic. And that's what we were saying, things that we hope made TV. Somebody just had a sign that said, I miss being called a poor.
Yes.
And I thought of that man as soon as MJF came out. I was like, that guy's the happiest.
He's like, call me a poor. What a great time. And like, the crowd was just so loud and so hot the whole show. But like, those 2 moments to start us out, I was like, I feel bad for whoever has to go out next. And it was the Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle, who... Like, there was a return in that match. Juice Robinson returned, but it's like, we are too tired from being excited from the past 2 things that happened.
Yeah.
I cannot care about Juice Robinson.
Yeah, the crowd was tired. The crowd needed a break. I mean, that's the thing with AEW is a lot of their cards, just like, every match is so big.
Yeah.
That you're like, I need sleep.
Yeah, I don't want to go through each and every match because we'd be here all night. It was a fantastic show from start to finish, but I think it's important that we talk about a few matches.
The single least over... Tony Storm was great. I love Tony Storm.
Loved it.
The single least over... I guess most over is a heel. But man, that audience would have killed Trent Beretta given half a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that audience wanted to murder Trent Beretta.
Yes.
I was kind of hoping Sue was going to hit him with a car.
Give it time.
I know, but I wanted it when I was there because I'm selfish.
You got MJF and Ospreay won a title. And the debut of Mercedes Moné.
I want more. I'm greedy, whatever. Moxley and Takeshita. Moxley didn't bleed.
Mox didn't bleed, no.
So I lost a bet. That was my first bet. That was my first gamble I lost in Vegas. Yeah. Let's talk about Copeland and Malachi Black.
Yes. I was going to skip over this match, but I really shouldn't because it was wild. Because it turns out that the WWE didn't copyright anything, and he came out as the Brood.
And I screamed. Especially later in the match when they do the House of Black fake out.
Yeah.
I looked at you and went, that's why I said the Brood! It wasn't just Adam Copeland hanging out by himself!
Yeah, House of Black's going to turn on Malachi. Nope, no, they're not going to do that. And
then Gangrel crawls out from under the ring!
Yeah, I feel like he was a little late. Like,
yeah.
It looked like there was a moment where everyone was in the ring like, where's Gangrel? But Gangrel comes out of a hole to support Edge.
And apparently help him get backstage because Edge jumps off the barbed wire steel cage.
Yes, through a table in a move where I visibly yelled when it happened. Because he lands on his feet, which is the worst thing you can do. Like, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but like, you're going through a table, if your feet are landing first, like, you're gonna jam your legs and your knees and your ankles.
Yeah.
Like, that can work if you're going to a back bump, but he was trying to do a splash, and if your feet hit first, you kind of have to bend your legs the wrong way to do the splash.
Yeah.
And as soon as it happened, I was like, that was bad.
Yeah.
Edge is injured, he will need surgery, and he has relinquished the TNT title after that. But what a match. What a match that, like that's going to be one that gets remembered.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this whole show is shows that will be remembered.
Yeah, this might be an all-timer.
Nightingale and Monet, I was so happy to see how much the crowd was still behind Nightingale.
Oh, we were
worried,
hot for Willow.
I was really worried that Willow would get kind of eaten up by how over Monet was.
Yes.
But she really didn't. And I was so happy to see that. And the crowd was hot for the whole match. I was so happy.
Yeah, I was really pulling for Willow because I was like, I don't want to give Monet a title in her first match, and she doesn't need a title right away. But it looks like Monet has a title, and Willow's going to go into a storyline with Statlander. So, like, they're both going to have something, so I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I wanted Willow to win because I love her.
Yes.
So I was just very, very happy.
I don't have much to say about Swerve versus Christian, other than I know you have an intense love for Christian.
I do.
I thought this match was like really predictable going in, but by the end of it, there was a moment where I was like, oh my God, they're giving the title to Christian. And for them to be able to do that's really impressive.
I genuinely, there was a few moments that I thought Christian was going to win the title, and that was the fact that they could convince me because nobody thought Christian was leaving with the title, really.
Yeah.
So for him to convince us, even for a moment, that there was a chance, was great storytelling on both of their parts.
Yeah.
And people loved Swerve.
Oh, yeah. Swerve, so over. Everyone was doing the dance.
Yeah.
Like, the Whose House, Swerve House chants were non-stop.
I laughed so hard at you doing Prince Nana's dance.
Because I can get it.
You were...
I'm guessing I was not on TV because I feel like someone would have texted me by now, but...
I mean, they would have been like, wow, Laura's laughing in your face in public.
Your shirt is very pink.
Oh, yeah, because I think the one where if I was on TV, it would have been during Copeland and Black. Because I'm making the face I always make when something is too violent for me in wrestling, which is the, Stefan, Bill Hader. And then there was the main event. This was so fun.
Yeah, this was the Anarchy in the Arena match, which started off super hot.
Got so stupid in the best way.
Yeah, they didn't do full entrances. FDR did not get an entrance. They just started attacking. And they just played Darby's music for a while. And violence spilled out across the arena.
Yeah.
And during all of this anarchy, Matthew Jackson grabs a microphone and says, "Turn that crappy music off. Play our theme music." And they play the Young Bucks' music, which is terrible, on purpose. And after more violence... Danielson grabs the mic and says, "No, let's play the best theme music of all time." And there was legit discussion in the crowd. Like, oh, I wonder what they're going to play. What's the best theme music of all time? Like, it's like, are they going to, play Robert Roods? What's about to happen here? And it was the final countdown.
And the crowd went up.
Yes.
And they clearly timed spots around it. It was incredible.
Yeah.
When Darby Allin does the dive off the balcony to the final countdown, I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, we did have a moment where Danielson and Okada battled up to our section. And Okada tried to kill Danielson by throwing him over the railing. That was about 4 rows in front of us when that happened.
It was real cool.
Yeah, it was... so insane. And
Jack Perry gets drowned.
Yeah, Jack Perry and Darby battle to the back, and Jack Perry almost drowns in a drink cart.
Yeah.
And then battles back, gets Darby knocked down, and then tries to hit him with a school bus.
Yes.
That said scapegoat on the side. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess they're both just dead. Which I was like, okay, we're not going to see much of Darby because he's hurt. That's a great way to kind of write him off. Forgetting that he was going to be fine. He got hit by a bus recently. Yeah, he's constantly Final Destinationing himself. So then later, a soaking wet Jack Perry is somehow stumbling back to the stage, grabs Tony Khan, and tries to drag him up onto the stage to get beaten up. But what he doesn't realize is Darby Allin had at this point with a flamethrower. And Darby Allin just sets Jack Perry on fire with a flamethrower. The idea that that they had to have a discussion where it's okay, you're going to set Jack Perry on fire with a flamethrower. Your billionaire boss will be standing next to him. So, be accurate when throwing flame.
Oh my God.
So they light him on fire and then everyone jumps on top of him.
Yeah, he does a full body burn.
Yeah.
It's a classic stunt.
Yeah.
And I have no doubt they looked up how to do it safely. I think that's why why the last time we see him, he's submerged in a pool, because I believe you're usually covered with water to slow it.
Yeah, well, he's covered in water to be cooled down. Mm-hmm. And also, I assume, his pants are then coated in kerosene so that it will catch. It was well hidden in terms of, like, how the magic of it works.
Yeah, like...
You know, because I love when the magic of stuff is, like, well hidden. Foreshadowing!
And, like, I love stunt, like, for someone who is afraid of everything, I love the science and the magic of stunt work.
Yeah.
And because wrestling is so much stunt work in a lot of ways, I was like, when Jack Perry doing a full body burn stunt, I'm like, yeah, it tracks.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
So then towards the end of this, they drag Darby back into the ring. And the Young Bucks look up, and I'm like, oh no, they're going to bring the cage down, which would be a great ending. But instead, they bring down a rope with a carabiner. Oh my God. And I was like, oh, this could be real bad. And then Okada just grabs like a rope. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, are they going to hang him? Because this could go from fun to uncomfortable very quickly. They instead tie his ankles together and hang him upside down like a piñata. Yeah. And when I say that they tie his ankles together, they don't. He's clearly wearing, like, harnesses under his pants. Mm-hmm. So they kind of, like, do stuff with a rope. Yeah. But what they're really doing is, like, safely harnessing him.
He's still hanging upside down. It still sucks.
Oh, it still sucks. But, like, it wasn't Matt, Nick, and Okada using rope to, like, haphazardly rig this. Like, there was clearly a plan here. They hang him upside down. And then they put on their brand new Young Bucks Adidas pump-up sneakers that have thumbtacks glued to the bottom of them. And do a double super kick to a upside down Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And then they just leave him there for the rest of the match for an uncomfortable amount of time. Yeah,
like a long time.
Because, like, he for the longest time, he's just kind of holding his head because he got kicked in the head. Yeah. But eventually the arms just kind of go limp.
Yeah.
And stuff's happening for a while. And I try to start a please help Darby chant. And Laura's like,
nah, he's fine.
No, don't do that, he's fine. And then everyone erupts in please help Darby.
Nah, he's fine.
He was so not fine. We as the crowd were starting to get uncomfortable. Just like, that's a long time just to be upside down. I learned that from C-Lab.
Sorry, that was just a good pull. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was an incredible show. I got some great pictures, believe it or not. Because we had fairly close seats.
Yeah, there wasn't, like, a bad seat in the house, really. There was, like, an upper deck that didn't seem to have sold as well. But everything was pretty full. There was, like, a weird section that was, like, empty on hard cam for the first few matches. And we're like, what happened there?
It looks like that there was just a group of people that was super late.
Yeah, that just missed it, so... Because by the end, it was packed.
Yeah, it was so good. And then we got a great moment after the show.
Yes.
Of the final countdown comes on again. It says, there's a sign that says pro wrestling is the best type of art. And it gets passed down from the crowd. And Danielson holds it up in the ring. Or Danielson's on his knees and the Revival holds it up in the ring.
Yes, FTR is holding it. And there's a moment where he lifts it up and sees what it says on the other side and pulls it back down. It said something about, like, Osprey, I think.
Yeah.
And just starts holding it against his chest.
Yeah, I can actually see that exact sequence of events happen in my pictures. And then the sign gets passed back and he just jumps up onto a pylon, like, in the crowd as the final countdown plays.
Yeah.
And, like, as it's obvious Danielson is nearing the end of his career.
Yeah, he's wrapping up.
And it was really... I'm grateful we got to share that for that minute with him. Like,
yeah.
And the crowd seemed to know that it was something of a goodbye.
Yeah, that he probably won't be there in a year.
Yeah, and so the crowd gave him everything.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was great.
Pro wrestling's great. It's beautiful.
It was a great show.
I love moments. It was so much fun. We spent a lot of time talking about it, but I can't not.
Yes.
Oh, so much fun. So, the next day... we get ice cream afterwards because I am at that point worried I am ill.
Yeah. I just want to point out that, like, I go on Facebook and I realize, like, a bunch of people I know are there.
Yes.
And I was like, that's weird. And then I run into my buddy Frankie, who I had no idea was there. And we just hugged for a while.
Oh, yeah, Brittany Blake jump scares me during Swerve's entrance. He's doing the Warriors entrance. And then in my ear, I hear a female voice going, Swerve, come out and play. And I jump out of my seat. And then it's a friend of ours, Brittany Blake.
Yes.
Who had seen you across the arena in your pink shirt.
So it worked. It worked. I look great in that shirt.
You do.
I won't hear anything else about it. So let's go. Let's continue on. So Monday.
Tuesday. Monday. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that the pay-per-view was on a Sunday.
So Monday, our objective was to go to Circus Circus.
Yes.
So we go through and we spelunk through several hotels because there's a bunch of cool pictures from the Bellagio. And I'm looking at these pictures and they're astonishing because I thought it was crowded when we were in there, but the like pretty plant area of the Bellagio was always insanely crowded.
Oh yeah, it was mobbed.
And in our pictures, it's the least crowded it is all week.
Yeah.
And so we got a lot of pictures in there, and we went to the Forum shops, and you got the Instagrammiest Instagram latte.
Yeah, we went to like this coffee place.
Cafe Lola.
And it was like $10 coffees. And my coffee had like a Memorial Day message on it.
Yes.
That I was like, I feel like I shouldn't drink this because it says like honor and serve on it. But I really want my coffee, so I drank it. And as I drank, it just got like distorted until it looked like a circus tragedy. I was like, all right, well, happy Memorial Day. The wonderful artifice of this place was to die for. We enter through this kind of like separated area where it was just old school slot machines.
Slotorama.
Yeah, Slotorama. There you go. And you could actually put a physical quarter in it and play there was no like putting in a 20 and hitting max credit and things, but this, you put a physical quarter in, you pulled the arm back and things spun. And I had found a quarter in our hotel room when we arrived, and I was like, well, I'm going to gamble with this quarter. And I put it in and I won $1.50, which I immediately lost, but that lucky quarter did in fact win me money.
It was... Circus Circus doesn't know what year it is.
But, like, there's something really nice about, like, physically pulling the arm, hearing people win with, like, the clang of quarters hitting a tray.
Yeah.
Like, that, like, textile and audio, like, is lost in today's casinos.
Yeah.
Because, like, we were walking through casinos, and there were so many slot machines that were blue-screened of death.
Yeah, it was odd.
That, like, I was like, yeah, and, like... You could say whatever you can about commissions and things like that, but it feels more riggable when you're using a video poker thing.
Yeah.
Like when there are physical reels that are moving, like there's a mechanical essence to it of just like, maybe it could stop where you want it instead of being programmed not to.
Yeah, I felt that with the digital slot machines, digital poker, digital blackjack, is I felt like they could be easily rigged against you.
They could be manipulated.
But we went to the Midway. The Midway is your Wildwood Boardwalkiest dream.
Oh, yeah.
Circa 1992. There was an entire stand of Icyland.
Yes, we went to Icyland.
Like, just ices. So not alcohol, not cocktails. Yeah. Just...
classic Coca-Cola polar bear ices.
And we made use of it.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of pictures of me with the icy polar bear. Mm-hmm. And I took some pictures of the Midway as well, of just everything is old school neon look.
Yeah. And like those scam carnival games, like,
God, they're beautiful.
You know, knock over the milk bottles completely, throw the softball in the very bouncy wicker basket.
Yeah.
The basketball shot into the basketball hoop that's clearly crooked. Like, all of that stuff was there. And I need to mention this. There were so many arcade games with, like, stuffed animal prizes, but they were all so big that I was like, if you were to win this, how do you get this on an airplane?
Yeah, there's a few people where I was like, I don't know how they're getting that home.
Yeah, they had like giant stuffed animals. It's like, that's bigger than a suitcase.
Yeah, I don't know how that big old Gengar is getting into that suitcase.
So, like, I was wondering if part of the scam of it was to make the prizes so unwieldy that they would just get left in hotel rooms and stapled back to the wall.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like a coin flip, because, like, if you drove, maybe you can fit Gengar in your car, or if you're a local or something. But
so we spent some time in there. Also,
and then we got to see a juggling clown.
We saw what might be one of the worst clowns I've ever seen in my life. There's like, clowns are always fighting the uphill battle of being clowns because clowns are inherently scary now. Like, it's very rare that you see a clown that's just fun and goofy. And he was wearing like a mask. He was wearing like a COVID mask.
Yeah, which is actually weirdly unsettling on a clown.
It's so much worse because, like, you just expect now when he takes that off, he will have 1,000,000 teeth. Like, it was so unsettling for him not to have a painted on smile that, like, what you would imagine is worse. And for the most part, he, like, kind of walked around. He juggled some rings. He juggled some tennis rackets. And then for the big finish, he just kind of bounced a ball. Like, he did some really bad, like, Harlem Globetrotter tricks with not a basketball, like one of those cheap bouncy balls that you get for, like, your pool.
The ones that are in, like, the giant, like, ceiling height thing at Walmart.
Yes. Just that. And he just, like, he spun it on his finger, and he did the thing where it, like, rolls on his hand, up his arm, around his chest, into his other hand. But he also just dribbled it for a bit.
Yeah, like, it was really pathetic.
I'm like, all right. And I was almost at the point where I was like, we should go. But then they had a woman come out to do silks, which was phenomenal.
She was so good. She also did hers too. Evanescence's Bring Me to Life.
Yeah.
Because if it was beyond 2003 in this building, it didn't happen.
Wake me up as I can't wake up.
That was literally the most recent thing we saw in that building, was 2003.
So, she was incredible. Like, she so much upper body strength to hold yourself up like that.
I, at one point, get legitimately angry because the audience seemed more into the clown than her. And I was like, this is stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah, she's amazing. And that was all free, which was incredible.
Yeah.
We went to the Adventure Dome for a bit, which was not free.
But it was free to walk around, which I appreciated. Yeah. And we did.
So we did not ride anything.
Also, again, heavy 1992 Wildwood, New Jersey boardwalk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, it's very interesting because with, like, Wildwood and Six Flags, there is kind of this feeling of, like, there are areas to walk around, to sit, to rest, to eat your food. At the Adventure Dome, they filled every nook and cranny with something you could put money in.
Yeah.
Like, you just would turn a corner and there was, like, 9 arcade machines. It was like, do you want some cotton candy or something? What do you want? It's like, no, I don't want to have to spend money right now. So it's very interesting how they use their space.
Yes, and it was really, really, really fun to walk around still, even if you didn't go on anything.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. We did eventually ride which is separate from the Adventure Dome, the SpongeBob ride.
SpongeBob's Crazy Carnival ride.
Yes.
If you've been on Toy Story Midway Mania, picture that.
Yes.
But SpongeBob.
The gun that you have is basically a remote control.
Yeah.
And, like, you had to aim it lower than you thought you had to, because Laura's like, mine's broken. And I was like, no, you gotta point it at stuff.
I was pointing it at stuff, but I was apparently pointing it at the wrong stuff, because I was pointing it where on the screen I felt it should go.
I was like, yeah, hold it flat.
But it was so cool to walk around there.
Yeah.
And then it was hot. It was very hot by this point in the day. The walk to Circus Circus was a test of our patience and dreams. Because we walked to Resorts World, but we'd stopped and we got like a frosé and a mediocre sandwich. Mm-hmm. But the walk from from Resorts World to Circus Circus, there weren't a lot of places to stop into.
Right.
This was hot.
It was hot.
And then we realized we had to walk back.
Yeah, we were not thrilled, but we did it.
Well, what we did was we crossed the strip.
Yeah.
So we went in through the Wynn. Or the Encore. They're identical buildings. I don't know which one we went into, but there's a really cute bear that we took a lot of pictures of. I think it's the Wynn, based on Sophia Nygaard's video.
Yes.
And there's carousel horses. So we got to enjoy their air conditioning, take a lot of pictures of stuff. We saw the Sphere.
Yes.
From a land bridge. I got a few gorgeous pictures of the Sphere.
Yes, it was in the distance, but we did not go to the Sphere.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it didn't look very distant, but probably an actual walking it was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, we then went into the Palazzo and the Venetian.
Yes.
And one of the things when we watched Sophia Nygaard's video that Noah really wanted to do was the ice bar.
Yes, so we went to this bar called -5.
Yes.
Where basically they, for like $100? No, $50 each.
$50 each, but it included 2 drinks, so it wasn't too bad.
You get 2 drinks, and you rent a parka, and you go into this bar that is ice themed. So it is very, very cold. I'm gonna break the illusion for you guys. Everything looks like it's an ice carving, and then they throw like woolly mammoth looking pelts over it.
Yeah, they throw it like pelts.
So that like when you sit on it, it's not cold and stuff like that. It's actually all plastic.
Yeah.
Not real. Because they also say something like if you put your drink down on the ice, it'll freeze to it. That's not true. It's plastic, so it'll slide. So you have to put it on a coaster.
That being said, your glove will stick to it.
Your glove will stick to it, yeah.
Because chunks of it are ice.
Yeah.
There are pieces of everything that are ice, but a lot of it is plastic.
Yeah.
The glasses are made of ice, because you cracked yours.
Yeah, like, I guess I have a really hot mouth, because my glass was melting, like, immediately. Like, I had to drink my drink quickly, because it was stopping being a glass soon. And when we got it, they were like, hold on to your glass because your next drink will be in the same glass. And I returned mine. I was like, I want a new one.
I think it's because they're a pain to make. Because they also usually charged for a second cup, but they didn't charge you because yours was broken. Mm. So, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. They had like bar games.
They did, and they had music.
Like we were dancing a bit. There was like the thing where you try to get the ring on the hook. Like there was like some fun free activities to do. There was like tic-tac-toe and like lots of photo opportunities and stuff. And I
got a very good espresso martini.
Yeah.
But like the cream was mostly frozen.
Yes.
So it kind of almost had a slushy quality.
Yeah, it is quite cold in there.
Yeah,
but
I doubt
like,
it's 32 degrees, but...
Yeah. It's definitely not -5.
No.
But after, like, being in the hot sun of Vegas, like, this was rejuvenating to be in there.
I would guess it's probably in the 40s.
Yeah.
Because I wore a knee-length dress and was cold.
Yeah.
But mostly okay. It was so cool, though. I do think the pelts are there because I do think the seats, probably plastic, ice, whatever, they probably do get really cold.
Yeah, and slippery.
Yes.
But Yeah, I had a great drink. Like, both my drinks were pretty good. It was fun. It was definitely worth going and checking out.
Yeah, they give you little parkas. If you get the extravagant experience, they let you put on, like, nicer coats.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
No.
Because we still were slightly budget conscious. I took so many pictures in Ice Bar, so if you're watching the YouTube version of this, there's a chance some of these are up.
Yes. Laura's giving me lots of editing work for this one.
The next thing we did was we did the Link Promenade, and we went to Guy Fieri's Flavortown.
Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah, the food's good.
We were both a little drunk when we sat down because of the 2 Ice Bar drinks. There was never a point where I felt like I was like intoxicated, but it was very obvious we hadn't eaten all day at that point. Because we were really bad at eating.
Yeah, but we went to Flavortown. I got a nice like pork pull sandwich that I just ate with a fork.
Yeah, the pulled pork sandwich was very much something that you had to attack with a knife and fork.
Yeah, it was great though. Guy Fieri knows what he's doing.
He's gonna go places, that Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Then, important, we saw flamingos.
Yes, we went to the Flamingo, and you can just see flamingos there.
The flamingo was charming, just inside and out.
Yeah.
It definitely had more of that mid-century, neon pink, heavily themed vibe.
Completely free. You just go and see flamingos.
There's a picture of Sophia and Tyler's brick.
Yeah, we did find that brick.
And there's so many pictures of flamingos because I was like chasing them around like, hey, I love you. We also then went to another weird cocktail bar. This one was in the candy store.
Oh, yes, I forgot about the candy store. We went and got candy drinks that had, like, a dry ice in them, so they were, like, smoky. I got a shark one.
Yes.
I got the pool party, I think it was called. And you got... Peaches, yes. This was probably the worst drink that I had in Vegas.
Was it?
Yeah. Like, because it came with, like, 2 straws, and I was, like, joking around eating it like sushi. Mm-hmm. And I would, like, pick one up, and I would drop it in the drink and take a bite, and I was like, ugh. I think there was pineapple juice in it that I think was not the best pineapple juice. That is my guess.
Mine was pretty good, but the dry ice...
We're afraid of.
ruined the candy very quickly.
Oh.
Because it melted the candy.
That makes
with,
sense.
like, the moisture, the candy peach rings started to dissolve. So they were very sticky, and it made the drink... They had a to-go version. I don't know how you would have done that. Because
me neither.
This drink was very weirdly sticky.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. We spent the rest of the evening... pretty much just spelunking and walking around. And then we get lost in Planet Hollywood.
Yes, we spent some time in Planet Hollywood. Planet Hollywood, just because we love Planet Hollywood, we love kitsch, we love, like, weird stuff. We're like, let's go look at all of the props and costumes and stuff from all the different movies. They had one.
Yeah, they had the flight suit from Independence Day. Will Smith's flight suit.
And that was it. They didn't have anything else that was fun to look at. No sports almanacs, no unobtainium, nothing.
Yeah, no, like, they didn't really have any fun costumes or props around like you would have expected. It was kind of a bummer. And then the top floor is the second floor is a lot of wasted liminal space.
Yes, we took some, like, creepy pictures up there because it looked like the back rooms.
But they were completely guest accessible. Like, we were never in a place we oughtn't to have been in. And we see some very funny... we see a group of people... The Chris Angel Mind Freak show was dark that night, and we see people still sneaking into the photo op.
Yes.
Where you can levitate in the ladder. And there is a Planet Hollywood employee standing at the top of the escalator, and we're like, is he going to stop us? No, he was just stopping you from using the escalator that was down as stairs.
Yes.
Mind Freak was not his post. He didn't care.
He didn't care if we messed with all of his props.
Yeah, he's just standing there watching everybody use it as a...
And he never said anything. Like, we all said, like, is he going to stop us? And we all turned and looked at him. And he just looked back at us. I'm like, all right, he sees us. He'll say something if we're not supposed to be doing this.
And he never did.
that brings us to Tuesday.
Yep, we started our day at the Wicked Spoon Buffet in the Cosmopolitan.
Oh, what an amazing buffet, too.
We did 2 buffets, and this was absolutely the better of the 2.
Oh, yeah. This was a really solid buffet. Lots of options. And just, like, the quality of the food was just, like, up there.
And it kicked off the Laura Char Siu Bao tour of Las Vegas.
Yes.
Because I think every day after this, I had at least 1 pork bun or dumpling of some kind, as God intended.
Yeah.
The Cosmopolitan is a really cool hotel resort. All over the resort, there are little things called artimats.
Yes, the artimats were super cool.
And they're these little cigarette machines, clearly repurposed cigarette machines, that have cigarette box-sized art in them. So I got like a little medallion made of clay.
Because I immediately saw it. I was like, oh my God, is that a cigarette machine? Thinking it was a cigarette machine, and I wanted to take a picture of it because I hadn't seen a cigarette machine in 20 years. And then I was like, nah, it's full of cool art. I was like, even better.
Yeah, so we did buy like a little medallion. And then what comes next is probably one of the highlights of the trip.
Yes.
We spelunked and took the trams and whatnot. Oh, also, there are trams in Las Vegas between certain
trams.
hotels, and use them.
Yes, it's wise to do so.
Because I think we took the tram back from the Cosmopolitan to Park, and then walked to Luxor from Park.
Yes.
Because in Luxor, there is a heavily advertised arcade. Arcade's not the word.
Playground. Is what they
Playground
say.
called Play.
Called Play. And, like, this was something that had been, like, advertised to me on Facebook
Aggressively.
constantly. And I was like, I kind of want to do this. And at the time, I felt like I was dragging Laura to, like, a tourist trap. It was incredible.
I will say my only notable injury sustained in Vegas was sustained 2 minutes into being into Play.
So, what I had basically convinced myself to kind of like feel good in Vegas is just accepting that everything is $100.
Yeah.
So I was just expecting to spend $100. And this was one of the cheaper things we did. A pass that let us do everything in the playground was $40 a piece.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Some of the things you can do there do not require a pass.
Yeah, like some of them are just kind of like table games and...
Well, the first thing is a tube slide. And I was like, there's just like a playground tube slide. Let's go down the slide. So it was like 2 stories. You climbed up. There was like a bag you sat on. It was not like bigger for adults, so you couldn't sit up all the way. You had to lay down.
Yep.
I went through and I had a joyous time.
I went through and skinned my knee like a 6-year-old.
Yes, because it's truly a playground.
Yeah, I posted a picture on my Instagram stories that essentially said, guess who skinned her damn knee on the tube slide immediately upon arriving at the adult playground. And my knee is still skinned. There's just a scab there, and I do feel like a 6-year-old.
Yeah. So they had all these like larger-than-life games. They had Giant Perfection.
Yeah, they had Giant. It wasn't Operation. We thought it was, but it was a logic game.
Yes, it was like a game where you had to put these kind of like bone puzzle pieces into a body that like made the colors match up perfectly. For this one, you got to don a lab coat and stethoscope just for aesthetics.
Yes.
So for the rest of the trip, we called each other Doctor.
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 We were so good at that one.
Yes.
We got a plus.
That was one of a few games we set the record for the day.
Yes, because one of the games that was really, really, really fun was the poker chip parkour.
Yes, so it was basically a balance beam that had these swinging poker chips on them.
Like the red balls from Wipeout, but they were poker chips.
Yes. And the girl was like, they're going to get in your way. Just get them out of the way. Just get them out of the way.
She was not telling everyone they could shove them, by the way I found out.
I set the daily record for it that day, and we have video of it. I'm just going so aggressively that I catch a poker chip like under the ribs that hurts a lot.
Yeah, I'm literally watching the footage, and I can see where it just smacks you, and you stumble a little, but you make it to the end successfully.
Yes. When Laura goes, I would best describe it as the poker chips politely getting out of her way as she flounced across.
Yeah, girl, cute.
Oh, thank you. With so much more elegance than me.
Without issue.
I have not seen the footage. You did not show me the footage from this.
Well, that's what it looks like. It's just like, all right, well, I'm going, and I've gone, and now I'm done.
I was apparently quite quick, and the young woman working there made a comment about it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that was just elegant.
Yes, elegant would be a good word to describe it.
There was also a game called Word Up.
Word Up. So this was a great game. It's like giant Scrabble-esque game where it gives you a bunch of letters.
It reminded me of the computer game Text Twist.
Okay.
Where you got a set of letters.
Yes. And you had to find as many words out of the letters they gave you. And the letters are just on the ground, and they're these like foam squares. So you have to find the letters first and then make words. The thing is this is a face-off. And so you're going up against someone, but that doesn't mean you have the same letters.
Nope.
We played this game twice, because the first time I felt like I got screwed on letters.
Yes.
The second time we played, my letters were E, 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 S, Z, Q, and U. So I spelled C, and I spelled Z, and that was basically all I got.
I don't
and I
remember.
got made fun of.
Not by me.
No, the guy behind me in line was like, because he had seen me do the poker chips.
Yeah.
And he actually said, it's a good thing you're athletic because you can't spell for shit.
Meanwhile,
And he's not wrong.
The number 1 and number 2 scores of the day for the rest of that day were the same person.
Yes.
Me.
Yes, Laura was the best at this.
But the exact same score. So
Yeah.
the top 2 scores of the day were the same score, and they were both me a couple hours apart.
I then got to do a giant like ball maze was a thing we did, like a tilt maze. We did
Yes.
one of those.
Which we should have done really well on, and we missed the getting it in the hole by like a split second. It was miserable.
We had
super mad.
We had one of those slide games where you have 2 poles and you pull the poles apart and you try to roll the ball all the way to like Jupiter. Like, it's a very common toy you'll see at Christmas in like those toy shops.
Yeah, I was miserable at it.
We couldn't get it to work right because there was like an issue with the door, and someone from the staff saw that and was like, we're going to give you a free game.
And they did.
We did not complain.
No.
Like, we were just like, I guess this is a game we're bad at. And she was like, no, free games for you guys. I was like, oh, okay. The staff at this place was incredible.
And they seemed to be having a good time.
They turned off the music at one point to do an in-sync sing-along.
Excuse me?
They turned off the music at one point to do a Backstreet Boys sing-along.
They did. They did.
Excuse me.
They did I Want It That Away. And I couldn't stop laughing because they clearly knew who was there at 11:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. It was all people in their 30s.
Yeah, it was so fun. The 2 things that I need to talk about, like specifically, are there was one of those Velcro suits games where you jump off a trampoline and try to throw yourself at a bullseye.
Yes.
Nobody paid for that.
Yeah, they didn't like scan in.
Like, there was clearly a space to scan in, but the guy running it did not care because I think the suit was ripped, and he's like, ah. So, we both did it. I was one of the few people that got it to stick. And what's amazing about that is when your clothing sticks to something, your body still moves. So it's a great way to destroy your testicles. Laura did it. Was less successful at it.
I tried.
How would you describe the feeling of just slamming your body into a wall?
I never stuck well enough to sustain injury, so I just Wile E. Coyote slid down the wall. It was, it was big. You tried.
Yeah.
Energy. And I tried. I did try. I was not good at it. The other thing I really want to mention is in the back there's just a bouncy castle.
There's a bouncy maze. Like there's like different areas that go into. It's supposed to be a maze. No one is there working it.
No.
So like there was no scanning in or anything like that.
No, and there was not a spot to scan in. This was just there.
It was just there for you to do. So I think because they knew it was people in their 30s that we did it twice and we lasted about 15 seconds before we were like, I need to stop. Or
We lasted about 45 seconds. Not long. I don't want to pretend we were like, no, we lasted 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. It's like when you go to the trampoline park and they're like, yeah, you'll be there for 2 hours. And you're like, only 2 hours? And then 2 minutes in, you're like,
yeah. Well, I also like, because you go to a trampoline park and they usually say things like, there's no laying down on the trampoline. So I was like, why would I do that? Oh, because I'm dying. I just need to be horizontal for a moment. But yeah, it was super fun. There was also like some other mini games. Like there was these balls that were being spun in a circle that you could try to catch with a cup. That was just free to do. There was, of course, a bar there as well, so we got a drink.
Yes.
Like, it was so fun, and like, my first thought was...
Got a pretty good lemon drop there.
Yeah, you got a lemon drop. I forget what I got. You got
a mojito.
I got a mojito, that's right. My first thought was like, oh, we should have one of these in Philly. And then my second thought was, this wouldn't work in Philly. Because what was making this work was there was not a lot of people there.
Because we were there pretty early in the day.
We were there early in the day, and we're in Vegas where there's 100 things to do.
Yeah.
If it was like the only thing to do, like if you were just going to play, like it would be packed and this magical land would not work.
Yeah, like it was starting to fill up as we were leaving. Like this was a really fun thing to do early in the day. I would recommend it fully. Like go round when they open.
And like if we wanted to, this would be a great place to make friends.
We kind of did.
Like, because there was like people that we kind of had a bit of a relationship with. It's like, oh, you guys are doing this too now, and we would like chat in line. But a lot of the games were for 4 people. Some of the games were for 8 people. And like in the interest of time, there was time where it was like, oh, there's a bit of a line for this. Can we jump in with you? And then we were just competing against each other. Like it was a great way to just form new friendships, which I can't think of another place in Vegas where I would say you could foster a friendship here.
The only other places I could think that you would like be able to talk to strangers are some of the like smaller cocktail bars.
Yeah, but even then, like, there's not a reason for you to approach another table at a cocktail bar.
That's true.
This is like creating situations where it's like, this is an 8-player game. There are 2 parties of 4.
Because we did
Just
play
throw them
another.
together.
Yeah, because we did play the one like race game with another couple.
Yeah, it was like race skee ball that we played with another couple, and I kept throwing my ball at the person next to me because I was bad at it.
I threw mine across the room by accident.
Yeah. But yeah, a necessary destination if you're going to Vegas is play.
It was so much fun.
Fun, affordable?
Yeah.
Affordable in Vegas?
Because I think all said and done, we spent about $120 for the 2 of us. Because we did also get a drink at some point.
Yes.
And again, you could easily cut that down by not getting a drink or not getting an alcoholic drink.
Mm-hmm.
But we tended to get a featured cocktail everywhere we went. Because that's how we Vegas.
I nearly forgot. You got a score for everything you did.
Yes.
And it kept track of that. And at the end, you could cash them in for prizes like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, so we have a bunch of stickers.
We got a bunch of stickers, but like, had I really wanted to, I could refill my card and play more games. And I could have saved up for like a shot glass, a hat,
a hoodie,
like decent prizes. Plus, they also had like fun dip and candy necklaces and stuff like. I wish they had spider rings Because I'd be like, I have to get a spider ring here.
And they do also rank the players by day, month, and all time.
Yeah.
So Noah was the 10th best player of the day when we were there.
Yeah. We were both ranked pretty high for not
Spending any extra money.
Spending extra money. Because the people that were above us, it was very clear that they had played the games a lot more than us.
Well, number 1 and number 2 were clearly people who had been there a million times. The number 1 score of the day was 66,000 points. Your score was 3,700.
Yeah. Like, you have to have played multiple games.
Like, there was a gap between, like, numbers... Like, number 1 was 66,000, number 2 was 15,000, which feels doable. And then after that, it started to be, like, 8,000, 7,500, 4,300. The number 8 score was 4,100, and was me.
I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah, it was me.
The damn word game really hurt.
There was a game I got literally... There were 2 games I got literally
You had
nothing
no
on.
points. You had no points in some of the games.
The skee ball race game, if they could have given me negative points, I technically earned negative points.
You earned negative points at that one. We should also say Giant Bop It was cool.
Oh, Giant Bop It was so fun. We played Giant Bop It twice a piece. We played it as a single, and then we played it together as a team.
Yeah, so, like...
Together as a team, we got applause.
Yes, we did get a...
Literally, and then everyone clapped.
Yeah, it was like, there was 8 things you could do. It was like, slide it, kick it, stomp it, push it...
Switch it, plunge it.
Twist it.
Yeah.
And spin it.
Yes.
And, like...
We both remembered the ones that were on our sides.
Yeah, and we were just, like, running around doing those things. It was really cool. Everything, like, worked. Like, you always worry with, like, tactical games like this that it's going to be broken. Nothing was really broken.
No, nothing was broken in the whole arena.
Yeah. Other than the Velcro suit. Velcro suit was a little ripped.
That was fun. Oh my god. That was so fun for something that I thought we were going to die during.
So what happened after we left play?
So the first night we were there, I mentioned we'd walked around the horseshoe. And we found a cool little cocktail bar called The Cabinet. And then attached to the cabinet was something called The Lock. And I watched Noah be like, what are you?
Yes, it's a unadvertised locked door that looks like a vault. And we were looking at the menu for the cabinet, and there was just a button, or not, it was a touch screen. Mm-hmm. And there was just like this weird like thing that looked like a door. So I touched it, and it said, you found your invitation to the lock. And it was just like this hidden speakeasy. And apparently in the cabinet there are many ways to find your invitation. But I was like, this is really cool. Let's do this. So Laura made a reservation.
Yes.
And when we got there, you had to call the locksmith on like a phone.
There was just a little phone that said, have a reservation? Call the locksmith. And so I picked up the phone. They took my name because the reservation was under my name. And then a young woman came out of the vault and let us in. To the vaults.
To the vaults, which was this room full of safes. And she was like, so if you want to go in, you're going to have to find a 4-digit code. And
we had 2 options to get in.
Yeah. There was a big door, or you could sneak in through this hole.
So obviously,
like, we're sneaking in through the hole.
I'm crawling through this hole on my skinned knee.
And like, but to open that, we had to like listen to this story about like the 3 people who knew stuff. And then we found those safes. And then when we opened those safes up, there was a number inside. And that gave us 3 of the numbers. And they're like, okay, now you just need the final key to get into the speakeasy. It's the first number. Find what is key. It is not a shadow. So you look up and there's just a bunch of hanging keys above you. And one of them has like a circle around it. And that's a 0. So once we like crawl through on our skinned knees and got in, it was just this cool like loungy area. Like the seats were really soft.
Yeah, like we were led to like 2 big like leatherback chairs, like bougie.
Yeah,
wingback chairs.
And, like, pretty empty. Like, there were 2 other parties there besides us, so it felt very exclusive.
And again, we were very much daytime animals in Vegas. So we went shortly after they opened at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, my big advice, if you are on the East Coast and your plan is to go to Vegas,
Don't try to adjust time.
don't adjust your clocks. Just be like, okay, I'm going to get up at 8 a.m. every day, and I'm going to go to sleep at, like, 10.
Yeah, like we were usually well in bed by midnight. And I want you to know that it is possible, nay, great, to do Vegas still on Eastern Daylight Time clocks.
Because, like, midnight Vegas is 3 a.m. for us here. And so, like, instead of trying to fight through it, we were just like, let's just accept that it's bedtime. And that was a great way to do it, because we never ran into people.
Yeah, because we were able to do a lot of things on the earlier side before the hangover crowd woke up.
Yeah. So,
The first drink you order at the Lock is off a menu.
yes.
And
I got the Mango Madness, and it was delicious. It might be the best drink I had the whole time.
yeah, like it was they were these really great, well-balanced drinks.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if I could pull the menu up.
Like a good speakeasy, it had a bartender that clearly cared about her job and, like, was interested in the art of being a bartender. So all the drinks were, like, super well made.
Yes.
It was absolutely fantastic. What did you have?
I had a strawberry drink. So you had the Mango Madness, which was vodka, mango puree, simple syrup, and vanilla syrup.
Yes.
I had the strawberry whip, which was strawberry gin, and I'm not usually a gin girl, hibiscus syrup, vanilla syrup, basil, and lemon juice.
Yeah. What was so cool about my drink was it had like a stem of rosemary in it.
Yes.
So you would smell it first. And the smell did not make sense with the taste. So it was kind of like it was doing a magic trick.
Yeah.
And as a big fan of magic, big fan of this drink.
Yeah, I considered getting the I Love Blue York, which was tequila, blueberry puree, lavender, and vanilla syrup. And that's going to be foreshadowing for about 2 seconds from now.
Yes. Because with this reservation, you were required to get 2 drinks.
Yes.
But the second drink is a mystery drink. You have to fill out a survey, and then they make something based off of your answers.
Yeah, you are allowed to order off the menu if you really want to. That's way less fun.
Yeah, it's far less fun. So they asked you, like, what your element of your zodiac symbol was, if you'd rather go to the beach, a campground, the mountains,
Or downtown.
And what else?
They did ask, like, how are you feeling today?
Yeah,
like,
how are you
confident,
feeling?
jolly.
Adventurous or naughty.
Yeah, because I picked jolly.
Yes.
And then they did ask one, like, what kind of drink do you usually go for? Sweet, bitter, like, boozy. And so they asked one taste question. And then they asked, like, do you have any allergies or things you really can't stand?
Yes.
Because I don't particularly care for bourbon or whiskey in most cases.
Yes.
And I said that.
Yeah. I just wrote, I trust you. And the bartender came over and said, let's see if you trust me. And what I loved about it was they gave you the drinks and didn't tell you what was in them until later.
Yeah, they just walked away.
So you had some time to, like, bask in the mystery of the drink and try to figure it out. And I was like, all right, I'm pretty sure that mine is some sort of grapefruit involved, and I think maybe gin. Because, like, there's an alcoholic taste, but I wasn't super familiar with it, so I was like, maybe gin, because I'm not a big gin guy. She came over and was like, so, your drink has tequila in it. And I screamed, what?
Yeah, because you're generally not a tequila person.
True fans of this podcast will know that I have a reaction when I drink tequila. It's not like I'm allergic to it. It's just that my body rejects it. And I make this weird noise. Did not do that at all. It was such a good drink.
Mine was blueberry. Mine had a lot of the elements of the I Love Blue York it tasted like, but was vodka based.
Yes. She put guava in mine. Is that what that's called?
Yes.
Guava in mine, some passion fruit, and glitter.
Yes.
So I was like, take your flashlight out, and I shined it. It was full of glitter.
And she was so proud of herself.
Oh, yes. One of the coolest things we did.
Yeah, it was really cool. They had a private party in the next room.
Oh, yeah. We gotta bring that up.
Who accidentally, like, kicked the power out for a second.
Yeah, so there's a back room for a private party that's behind a, like...
Painting.
A painting, which is perfect. And in the lock, it is just constantly playing on a loop, like a few advertisements and trivia about the 1920s, and Charlie Chaplin and Three Stooges films.
Yeah.
They kick the power out so it restarts, so we're like on the Roku home screen.
It was pretty, yeah, it was like, we got like a full-on like Amazon Prime ad. It was really funny.
Yeah. And they ran back there and yelled at them. It was real fun.
Oh, it was amazing. So we had a great experience at the lock. You're gonna find that being a pattern of we didn't drink a lot in Vegas, but when we did, we tended to choose odd cocktail bars like
Yes.
-5, like the lock, and occasionally a Fat Tuesdays, because all Fat Tuesdays is alcoholic slushies.
And it hot.
And Fat Tuesdays and like a few other chains that do the same thing have a hold on Las Vegas, let me tell you. There's tons of them. Probably because it is so hot.
Yes.
They were fun though.
And like for the money, we're actually like kind of fair. Like you could get one of these like yards of alcohol that were like $36. It's like $36 is so much. You got to keep it. It had 6 shots of alcohol in it, and it was cheaper if you got a refill.
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually not a horrible bargain.
That's not what we did.
We didn't do that, but like, it was just the thing I noticed.
Yeah. We got like just the cup.
Yeah, we got a cup that I threw away. Because I don't need 6 shots of alcohol.
No. But we did see people carrying them all the time.
Oh yeah, they were flooding the streets.
And then we went to a little cafe in the Paris hotel for dinner that had a really good chicken parm.
Yes.
I don't have the name of the cafe. I think it was like the American Cafe or something.
Yeah, it was
like,
something simple.
But we ate, quote, outside in like the bistro tables out on the casino floor, which was really nice. It was, if you've been to the Pyramid in Epcot, it was very similar to that in feel of like you're under the fake sky. It's outdoor dining, but it's not.
Yeah, it was a bit brighter than
Yeah.
the pyramid from
But that kind of vibe.
Epcot, but yeah.
And we did a little bit more walking, and then that night we went to the Neon Museum.
Yes.
So we walked around the entire museum 4 times.
Yes.
I wanted to put down roots and live in this. It's a boneyard, which means that not all the signs are functional. A lot of them are.
Yeah.
Noah had been like, oh, we can go during the day. And I was like, we're going after dark.
I didn't know that some of them were functional.
Yeah, I was like very, like, no, we're going after dark.
But it is all of the formerly used neon signs that were on the strip that have now been decommissioned. And now they're just littering this boneyard, and you just go around and see them. And it was just very interesting to see, like, the history of Las Vegas kind of just laying around.
Yeah, like, the Area 51 motel sign was my favorite. It is so weird, because on both sides there's alien motifs and, like, mid-century sci-fi, and in the middle, it's 3 seahorses.
Yeah.
Why? But I loved it.
Yes. We saw the old Stardust sign, which is now Resorts World.
Yes.
Is Stardust. We saw the skeleton head that used to be outside of Treasure Island.
Yeah, it was bananas. We saw the old Sahara sign. The Sahara still exists, but we saw the old light-up sign. The Stardust sign was still working. I think some of the signs that were mostly illuminated through light bulbs survived a little better.
Yeah.
Than the neon, because it's easier to replace those light bulbs.
Yes, very true.
There was a Liberace neon sign that was lit up. And then there were some really mundane ones.
Yeah,
They were beautiful.
One of my favorites was one that just said, like, color TV in every room.
Yeah, we have a picture of that because I just stopped and, like, I had to take a picture of it.
They had a giant working Moulin Rouge sign.
Yes.
That was gigantic. It's one of those things where, like, of course signs have to be big for people to see them, but, like, being that close to them, it's like, oh, these are monsters.
Yeah, and some of them just had that mundanity. Like, some of them were landmarks, and then some of them were just, like, for a roast beef place.
Yeah. There was one that was just for a laundromat that was like a neon sign of a shirt being folded.
Yeah. And it was exquisite. Like, I must have taken 150 pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one that was just flowers. Just like flowers and corsages. It could have been any city in the world. There was a cool Tim Burton sign that said Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That Tim Burton helped design, and it looks like Tim Burton helped design it.
Right.
And a few of the letters didn't work anymore, or maybe never worked, because it's Tim Burton, and I couldn't figure out if they maybe never worked.
Such a cool place.
I spent so much money.
We spent so much money in the gift shop that the guy assumed we were trying to hit a certain price point to get a free pin.
Yeah.
Which was not the case, and we're stunned to find we were getting a free pin.
Yeah, he was like, you can have one of these. And I was like, oh, cool.
Another place where the staff was also really cool.
Yeah, they really they know they work in a cool place. I think with the Neon Museum, it is a mid-level, it's off-strip.
Yeah.
And I think that does matter in certain ways. It's not the Strip, it's not Fremont Street. So it's not the two places they tell you to go. We did not make it to Fremont Street, actually.
Yeah, it's not a place like many other things that in Las Vegas that you could stumble upon. Like, it has to be a destination because no one's walking this way.
No. I loved it.
Yeah.
I got really emotional there, like the ephemera and neon, like, it's a thing I'm really passionate about. I'm just flipping through my pictures. There's so many pictures. There's like a diner called The Flame that I took a picture of the thing of, and I took video of it because it moved.
Right.
Do you remember when the neon signs used to move?
Yeah. Like the bad kind of like animation where part of the sign is dark and the other sign is lit, and then it switches to kind of create the idea of motion. I think we also have a connection from it because we have that Macy's Christmas show.
Yes, if you're from the Philadelphia area and you have never gone to the Wanamaker, Lord & Taylor, Macy's Christmas show, that's just free, I think, every hour on the hour, certain times of the year, like from November on. It's endearingly crappy.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed in a million years. It looks exactly the same now as it did in the 90s. We went to this cute little boutique, and they were selling, like, Christmas servingware with that design on it, and I bought it.
Yeah.
It's something I'm very sentimental toward, because it's something from my childhood as well. And I watched the neon when you did a show in Wildwood a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I didn't go. I went with you to Wildwood, but I didn't go to the show.
Did not.
And I walked around taking pictures of things all night. And the pictures I took from that night are not dissimilar.
Yeah.
To what these pictures looked like. Like, really the same vibe. So, that's going to take us to Wednesday.
Now, Wednesday, I'm gonna say this right now. Wednesday, we see a show. We are not going to say what the show is.
Okay, we're not?
We are not going to say what the show is. But next week's episode will be about that show. So the only hint that you have is that we were in Vegas, and when we watched it, our thought was, this is an episode of Stay Doomed. I want you to pause this right now and put in the comments what show you think we saw.
Your hint, it wasn't Maroon 5.
It wasn't Maroon 5. But what else did we do on Wednesday?
We woke up and we went to the patisserie at Aria. I could have gone there every day.
Yeah, we got
for
some
breakfast.
croissant.
Like, the first picture of our day is just a giant picture of the croissants. And then some mediocre selfies you take while I made you be an Instagram husband. Because the main thrust of this day was kind of just intended to be, more of a low-key day. We were kind of trying to balance it out. And Tuesday had been intended to be a low-key day. That morning, we only had the Wicked Spoon reservations. By the end of the day, I'd bought the Neon Museum tickets and the Lock. So we kind of had... And we fit play in there as well.
Yeah.
So we were like, let's see where the day takes us. So, this is the only main touch point we had of this day was the ski lodge.
Yes, we went to the Speakeasy Ski Lodge.
This was closest to being an actual speakeasy in that it was slightly hard to find.
Yeah.
But there are ads for it all over the place.
There are ads for it. I would say
But
that...
those ads don't tell you where it is.
No, you kind of have to know where it is. It's by the Wicked Spoon. There are, little pictures of ski lodges and skiers nearby.
Yeah.
And it's... You walk in and you're suddenly in an 80s ski movie.
The music choices in Ski Lodge. We walked in and they're playing Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes. And I was like, yes to this. Yes, 100 times yes. Here for vibes. Also another octopus, because octopuses were like a weird sub-theme.
There was a lot of octopods, and we each got a drink and little s'more kit that you can make at the table.
A weirdly overpriced s'more kit.
It's overpriced, but you're not paying for... it's not like you're paying this much for a s'more. You are paying this much so that they bring out a tiny campfire and put it on your table so you can roast the s'more yourself.
Yeah.
And create your own s'more with penguin-shaped... not graham crackers. They were gingerbread, weren't they?
Yes. Which made me think, I could probably do this. Mm-hmm. And you got the Mudo, which was a watermelon coconut rum drink.
That was pretty good.
And I got the Golden Guy Goddess, which was a matcha vodka drink.
Which I found disgusting.
I liked it.
Laura loved it.
I'm not usually a matcha girl, but I really liked this. And just, sitting there with the aggressively 80s music playing, I really liked it. If they had more snacks or something, because the Lock had reasonably priced snacks. If this place had snacks, I might have stayed.
Well, you could order pizza there.
Yeah, but I can't eat most pizza.
I know, but I'm just saying, you could. It's very 80s teen hangout movie.
Yeah.
And then we got pizza. What I liked was we were sitting there for a while. Again, we're on a couch.
Yeah.
It's very cozy. And I look across the room and I'm like, I think there's board games over there. And I got up and looked and I came back and I was like, it's 12 jigsaw puzzles and 3 different types of Star Wars trivia games.
So this place was coming for me.
Yeah.
It was hey, we're heavily themed. It's 80s and puzzles and Star Wars trivia. And I was like, yes. And then we went and had one of my favorite meals of the week. We went to China Poblano, which is a Jose Andres restaurant. And it's tacos and dim sum.
Yes, so it is an Asian Mexican place, and there are separate kitchens for each.
Yes.
So what we ended up ordering was from different kitchens. So they're
Yes.
this is going to come out at random intervals. And we're like, that's fine.
Yeah, by the time we ate, we were always so hungry, we were never fussy about time period or anything.
So we got bao buns.
Yes, we got more bao buns. We got these incredible lettuce wraps with crunchy sweet potato on top.
Yes, I'm going to say it right now. I think that's the best thing I ate the whole time.
Was the lettuce wraps.
Were the lettuce wraps. They were so good.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing that I wasn't sure you would like.
Oh, they were incredible.
I was like, here's all the reasons I think you would like it. And you're like, yeah, order it. And I was like, okay, I think you'll like it. And you're like, just order it. And
yeah,
I was
the
like,
crunchy sweet potato, the chicken, there was a sauce on it. Oh, they were so good.
They were incredible. And then we also got dan dan noodles.
Yes.
Which were spicy, but incredible.
Yes.
It was a great meal. It was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, for what we got and what we paid for, again, if you go in mentally being everything's $100, When something is not quite $100, it's like I'm making out like a bandit.
And we were both well fed on 3 orders of food.
Yeah.
Because it was essentially we got 3 appetizers.
Yeah.
And we were both pretty happy with that. And then after that, we were like, okay, what do we want to do? We had already planned to see a show, and we'd already at this point bought tickets. But we had some time to kill.
Yes.
So I lured Noah out to Mandalay Bay like a siren. And so we're walking around Mandalay Bay, and then Noah starts seeing signs for the shark reef.
Yep.
And Noah's like, wait a minute.
So we went to an aquarium.
Noah's like, wait a minute. Oh, I got a really good picture of the gator. The crocodile.
Yeah. There was a crocodile. There was a
Gila monster.
Gila monster.
So cute.
Yeah, he had a big smile.
Yeah, he did.
There was a piranha tank, and we met an employee named Jesse.
Yes.
Who knew a lot about piranhas. And we just kind of had a long talk about piranhas in Australia and, like, keeping pets. And
what pets are legal.
a lot of the places we went, the staff was, like, on point.
Yeah, I think it's another thing that, not unlike Disney World, you get what you put in.
Yeah.
We tend to be fairly personable with, both Noah and I worked a lot of service jobs in our youth.
Yeah.
And I think we never forgot that. So we make it a point to be nice to the staff of everywhere we go, because at one point that was us.
Yeah.
And we have never forgotten that, of like, you know, this could have been me 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to remember the human. There was never a point where, like, staff was, like, we never had a rude staff member anywhere. But there were so many cool animals. Lionfish. You could touch a stingray.
Yeah. The stingrays were not in the mood. They were all in the center of the tank being like, if you can reach me.
There was one stingray willing to be pet, and we did not fight the children for the opportunity to pet him. And then just sharks. So many sharks.
Yeah, there were little tiny hammerhead sharks. Like one of those tanks that fully surrounds you. Mm-hmm. Like they can swim over you, they can swim under you. Very cool.
And like my favorite are the weird needle teeth sharks. And I was like, my friend, because we'd seen them in Baltimore when we went to the Jim Henson exhibit last year. Big old sea turtles in this tank as well. Just sea turtle and bye, and it made me so happy.
Can it compete with, say, the Baltimore Aquarium and the Camden Aquarium? Not really, but it was a great time.
Yeah, for something to do to kill an hour in Vegas that is fun and not alcohol driven, like there was not a bar there. Because I know that a lot of our listener base is probably sober curious. There are a ton of things to do in Vegas that are not alcohol dependent. I know we go to a few cocktail bars. We could have had a really fun sober trip as well.
Oh, yeah, easily.
There was never a point where we, like, drank with purpose to get drunk.
No.
We maybe should have for our next event, which is the thing that will be next week's show.
Yes, again, leave your guesses.
Yes.
I want to know what you think we saw.
And then we went to Shake Shack.
Then we went to Shake Shack, which was great, because for some reason Shake Shack is unaware that they're in Vegas, and they charge you normal prices.
Yeah, they were the same prices as any other city center Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Like, probably more than you would pay in the suburbs, but they were normal priced food. So we got food and milkshakes.
Yes.
To cap off our evening.
That brings us to Thursday. Thursday was a very special day, because we are going off strip yet again.
Yes, we started our day with, again, delicious crepes and latte macchiatos in Italy.
Yeah, I forgot about the crepes. The crepes are great.
And we started our day with a little bit of, I know this is going to sound weird to everyone, relaxation.
Yeah, we went to the pool.
Yeah, so we, like, laid by the pool, went in the pool briefly.
Pool cold.
Pool cold. We just kind of, like, rested. I, like, caught up on social media a little bit, brought a book, like, just kind of chilled out. And then we went in, showered, and got a lift to Area 15.
Area 15, the host of Meow Wolf's art exhibits, the biggest one, Omega Mart.
and a lot of other stuff.
So, yeah, first and foremost, had no idea how much other stuff was at Area 15. Had I known, we probably would have gone sooner.
Yeah. Number 2, I am never going to financially recover.
Yes. So we both did a virtual reality game where you're like a bird. Like they strap you in and you have wings. I did an obstacle course. Laura was a turtle.
Yes. There were ones that were more competitive and gamey. And then there's ones where you could just be a bird or a butterfly or a
Pterodactyl.
turtle. And the woman who was running it was like, yeah, the turtle one's really low key and really chill.
Yes.
So I was just doing this.
Yeah, she was just chilling out, swimming around, saying hi to everything that passed by. Hi, dolphin.
You didn't film me, did you?
I might have.
Because I do sound I sound so childish. I'm like, hi, dolphin. Hi, fish. And I'm just being a turtle.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
It was really cool.
I did get sick.
Yeah, and then we were immediately like, we need to recover from this. And there was like 4 other VR activities that we had tickets to, and I was like, we'll see.
And then we never got back to them. There's a lot of things we paid for and didn't do.
And did not do, yes.
So then we got caught up in Secret Origin, which was the ARG aspect.
Yeah, so there's just like this puzzle hidden around the area of Area 15, and you kind of learn this lore about how this used to be a school and how it got taken over because there was some sort of particle that is supposed to create creativity in you.
Yes.
It was like a nice little thing, and like it's just visible enough that you might get curious enough to be like, what is this? But without like the context, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah. It was very escape roomy.
Unless you're us, because we stumbled upon the lockers first.
No, we stumbled upon one of the fuse boxes, literally upon walking in.
Yes. We found a fuse box that had a number in it, and that was just like, ooh, that's interesting. But then we find the lockers, and without knowing it was a puzzle, we solved it.
Yes.
And basically, the answer is a 5-digit code.
Yeah, and you had to find the number and a word.
Well, again, we didn't know that yet.
Yeah.
So we just had this 5-digit code that I knew that we had solved. We just didn't have the information that we were supposed to then plug it in on a website on our phone. I thought it was going to unlock some of the many locked doors that said staff only on it. So I started punching it into like doorknobs.
Yeah, we did.
And then we were like, oh no, this is definitely not what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, so then we sat down to an amazing lunch.
Oh yeah, like this is basically an amusement park.
Yes.
So I didn't think the food would be so good.
But we went to Kaya Hand Roll. There are a few restaurants, but that's where we went.
So I got an amazing bowl of ramen.
Yeah, I got an incredible bowl of chow mein.
We split some pot stickers, and like on the menu was like lore about how she was a superhero that got powers by eating sushi. And like you could turn your menu into a crane. Like there was just stuff to do.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting while eating. And like this is a great example. We went to use the bathroom at one point. Mm-hmm. And I noticed a QR code, like, tucked into a corner. So I was like, I wonder what this is. I took a picture of it, and it was like, it pays to be curious. Here's the secret menu of the bar that's there.
Yeah.
And if you got a drink with one of these were like $18 drinks.
Yeah.
But they all came with, like, a coupon for something else to do, or free arcade tokens. Like, just the idea that, like, I found something actually valuable.
Yeah.
Just hidden. That many people would just walk by and have no idea. Really shows how special this place was.
I will say, if you have sensory issues,
It's a lot.
it's There's constantly, like, rave music and lighting. That being said, it's very easy to tuck away and find some places that are quieter and less crowded. There really wasn't a crowd the day we went.
No, it was pretty empty. We went to, what was that, the Wink Museum?
Yeah, the Wink.
Something Wink.
Yeah, and we were never in a room with other people. But it was very sensory overload.
Yeah, basically there were these tiny art exhibits that were supposed to represent the infinity. So they were like, it does the mirror trick, where there's like a bunch of different iterations of the same thing, so it looks like it goes on for forever. And the very first thing it does is the infinity is hard to grasp. The main problem with that is you. And they turn the lights in such a way so you just see yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like does a light show.
Yeah, Wink World.
Wink World, yes. And like using everyday things. Like there was a slinky room that had like aliens.
Yeah.
There was those balls that like you pull apart and
yes.
you make small, and that was supposed to represent like breathing.
Do not try to breathe along with it. You'll hyperventilate.
You'll hyperventilate, yeah.
Because I thought that's what it wanted you to do, and then I felt myself not feel well.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
But
so
super cool for like, it was very small and kind of like tucked away and like a very unique experience. We did some sort of personality test.
Oh yeah, we did brainstorm.
And like after you take the test, it's like, this is your brainstorm personality, and they gave you like a really nice like tarot card type card
that we were permitted to keep.
I was like, I know I spent money on this, but like it felt like I just kept getting unexpected value out of just being there. Like, here's another thing you can just have.
And like I do feel like we could have cut the pool and spent all day there.
Yes.
Because there's stuff we didn't get to do. We were barely in the arcade.
We barely got to do the arcade. There was a sky bar we didn't get a chance to do.
That I wanted to, but I wanted to go after dark because I wanted the better view of the strip, and I didn't want it to be so damn hot.
Yeah.
And we did not get to do it because we did get to go to Illuminarium, which was my big thing that I was kind of like digging my feet in of like, I really wanted to do Illuminarium.
Yes. And we went to space.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be more of a walk-around exhibit. It's more of just a big room full of screens. But, like, they are surprisingly interactive.
The floor reacts to things you do.
Yes. Like, for example, the first stop is the moon. And you can walk around and leave footprints on the moon. While Sting's walking on the moon plays.
Yes.
It was, like... It rode that line of being, like, really impressive and really cheesy very well. Mm-hmm. 'Cause, like, it would do something, like, really pretty, but then Bittersweet Symphony by The Verb would start playing.
Yes.
Like, oh no, The Verb's in space.
Yeah, I genuinely did wish we did more of the arcade. I even just, like, I'm a magpie who likes having... And I was like, I would have liked to have at least had a token. Like, we had money. We had included tokens.
Yeah.
And I was bummed out. But we did do Origin Quest. We did Wink World. We did Brainstorm. We did Illuminarium. We did Birdly. Liftoff Ride was the only thing I really wanted to do that we didn't get to.
Yeah, I wish we had spent a little bit more time. Again, it was hot. But there was just, like, so many sculptures just outside that you could just, like, go look at.
We looked at a bunch of them before the lift came to pick us up. So we did get some pictures with those. Liftoff was the only thing I really, really wanted to do that we didn't.
Yeah.
And that was just because I wanted to do it after dark. And I didn't realize how long we'd be in Omega Mart. Because everything I'd read said it takes 2 to 3 hours.
Yes.
We were in Omega Mart for about 4 hours.
About 4 hours. I don't want to spoil too much about Omega Mart because it's so special, but it is a supermarket that's weird. Mm-hmm. And I think if you have a passing knowledge of Omega Mart because of a MatPat video or having seen something, the grocery store is about 20% of it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much bigger than I was ready for.
Yeah, I almost feel like the grocery store was bread and circuses.
Yeah, because, like, the big selling point is, like, there's a bunch of very strange items that we would find in a grocery store. Like, the cleaning spray that was called Who Told You This Was Butter? There was energy drinks just called Please Wake Up.
There was bath salts that said, Bliss 1,000 times, extreme, peace blasted, tropical rage, grab relaxation by the throat.
Yeah.
And that made me laugh really hard.
And, like, every single thing there is, one, for sale. Mm-hmm. You can actually buy it. And two, like, has all that, like, product tiny type on it.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a stick of deodorant called, like, Whale Song that I was just, like, sitting and reading a bar of deodorant.
I legitimately only took pictures at the supermarket.
Yeah. When you get out of the supermarket to see the rest of it, there are literal novels worth of content to take part in.
Yeah, like I said, we spent 4 hours. You could spend all day there.
Yeah.
We went during an event called the Night Shift, which is at 8 p.m. they throw out all the children.
Yes.
I did this not because we desperately wanted to drink in Omega Mart, but I didn't want to be knocking over children on the way to get more lore. Mm-hmm. Like, literally, I didn't want to be, like, bullying children out of my way to get lore.
But, like, the level of just, like, hidden stuff. Like, there's constantly videos playing that are not, like, short.
No, they're not.
5 minutes long that tell you about these characters and things like that you have to sit and watch and, like, to get information from. There are phones everywhere, and you're constantly learning new phone numbers. And, like, you can call them and get, like, voicemails and, like, learn things about that. Or
they just ring in other parts of the building.
And
And you inadvertently scare the crap out of somebody by being a live person on the other end of the phone, which I did.
Yeah.
Because they were like, hello, and I thought about being a troll. I thought about, like, introducing myself as a character. Because someone went, who is this? And I almost went, it's Cecilia.
Cecilia Dram. I'm the CEO.
And I didn't, but I thought about it. And I was like, it's Laura. And they were like, who are you? And I was like, I'm just standing in the meat department.
Yeah. Who are you?
And they're like, I'm in produce. And it was just kind of neat.
Hi!
Yeah, it was really neat. We spent so much money on stuff. I collect pins, which I think is very, very important. 98% of what I bought on this trip, for souvenir-wise, was pins. Mm-hmm. The other thing was, you actually bought me an Omega Mart puzzle.
An Omega Mart cereal puzzle. Because it's a box of cereal, but it's actually a puzzle.
And I kind of was like, this is a Trojan horse gift of, like, Noah wants me to solve it, and then leave it out so he can look for nuggets of lore.
I wonder if there's a toy inside. We haven't opened it.
I have not opened it yet. And then I did buy a gift for a friend.
But, like, you can find drawers and open every drawer. And in there are files. And then you can read through the files.
Oh, I pawed through everyone's stuff.
Yeah.
You can paw through the bedrooms, you can paw through...
I found an entire book in a, like, coded language that I took pictures of because I was like, there's no way that all of this information is solvable in the time that I'm just sitting here.
Yeah.
So, like, there are full characters that I'm sure I did... Like, do you know what happened to Johnny? Does that name even mean anything to you?
To Johnny. Yes, it does. The name does mean something to me.
Okay, because...
I don't know exactly what happened to him, no.
Because in, like, the first video we watched, Walter, the original owner of Omega Mart, talks to, like, a ball of energy and is like,
but also,
Johnny?
In that same video, talks to a child.
Yes.
Who is also named Johnny, who's around the same age as his daughter in the video.
And then, like, later I found, like, a commercial for Omega Mart, and, like, they talk to a ball of energy. I was like, that's probably Johnny coming. Like, there's so much to take in.
You're not spoon-fed much.
No. Like, there's, you can get, like, their membership card.
The boop card.
The boop card.
That's literally what they call it.
Yeah.
The boop card is $3, and get it.
And, yeah, It allows you to interact with other stuff and, like, go on missions and solve puzzles. I would have had a fulfilling experience at Omega Mart without it. It doubled the value of being there with $3.
So if you are a fan of ours, there's a really, really good chance you watched the 4-hour Jenny Nicholson Galactic Star Cruiser video, just because the Venn diagram is a circle. Everything she felt was lacking in Galactic Star Cruiser. Omega Mart, which opened, I believe, a year earlier, does all of... You can interact. With this boop card, you never look at your phone. My phone's in my bag for the majority of this, except for a few times where I take pictures in case I need that information, which I did.
Yeah.
And the boop card, which is just like a little RFID card, changes things around you. And you don't really realize when you get it that that's what's happening, that that's someone using the boop card.
Yeah.
You just think like, oh, that interference is happening again.
Yeah.
Until you do it and you realize like, I did this. I'm the reason this is happening. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Hashtag Jenny do Omega Mart.
And I'm running around. I'm yelling. It was so fun. There were people drinking in the exhibit, which I have very mixed feelings about.
Yeah, there was a couple people who were clearly just sloshed running around, which was weird.
There is a bar in Omega Mart. It is not as difficult to find as people tell you it is.
Yeah, it's in the pharmacy.
And, like, the pharmacy has a picture of a cocktail in the logo. So it's not... I almost think they've made it less hard to find. I don't have any evidence for this, but I heard it was very hard to find, but it seemed stupid easy to find, which makes me think...
Compared to all the other stuff hidden in Omega Mart, it's basically out in the open.
Yes. Noah got a cool cocktail with a bergamot bubble.
Yeah, it was called the Source, and they, like, blew a bubble full of smoke. Oh, it was so cool.
And mine was a Meowhito that came in a, like, little plastic color change cup.
Yes.
And then when we went to leave, she's like, let me get you another cup.
Yeah, so they gave... Because it was a cup you could keep, but they gave us a clean one, so we didn't have to carry around a dirty cup. Just, like, stuff like that's awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. So we spent so long in there that by the time we were leaving, we realized we hadn't eaten in...
Well, I still have Omega Mart stuff I need to talk about.
I know you didn't... I didn't know how much you did or didn't want to talk about Omega Mart.
Well, there's something important that I want to talk about here, because, like, Lara was really good at Omega Mart.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, she would find a journal, read it in moments, and be like, I've obtained all the information out of here, let's go.
Yeah, speed read.
And me, I'm, like, trying to take pictures of stuff, and I'm like, I think that could be important. And, like, there's so much going on, to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to find something hidden so that I can feel like I did something, like, really cool. So there is this one place that's, like, the home of an herbalist. And Laura's hacking her computer.
As one does.
I'm looking at all the plants, and hidden under a table is a watering can.
Ooh.
And I was like, that's weird. And I was like, I wonder if there's anything in here. And I reached in, and I found something. I was like, oh, what's this? And I pulled it out, and it was a used container of applesauce. And my brain almost exploded. Because if you don't know... I'm afraid of applesauce.
Is this the thing you said you weren't going to tell me?
Yeah. It's because I have a tiny freak-out moment, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody else that's going on. Also, if I go a little too crazy about applesauce at Omega Mart, suddenly I'm an important character in the lore. So I have to quietly just be like, I'm okay.
Was it important or was it a trash can situation?
Oh, it was a trash can. Like, it wasn't an Omega Mart applesauce. It was, like, clearly a little kid's shut up and eat the applesauce while I'm doing Omega Mart thing. You done with this? This is a round thing I could throw it in.
Oh my god.
So then I have to go up to Laura and be like, can I just have some hand sanitizer for unrelated reasons? And then I had to, like, calm down from that and be like, okay.
I will say, there's no unrelated reason to ask for hand sanitizer in Omega Mart because everyone touches everything.
True.
So I didn't think anything odd when you asked for hand sanitizer because people put their sticky fingers in everything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm reading people's journals. I'm flipping through books. If you could touch it, I touched it.
Yeah.
Because I was pawing through everyone's
And, like,
crap.
I'm sure we still missed stuff.
We absolutely
Like,
did.
There was a room that was so dark that you didn't want to go in.
Yeah, sure didn't.
And I was just kind of in there alone, and it was just like, there was lasers in it. And I was just like, all right, this is interesting. And then I realized I could reach in and touch a laser. And when I did, it played like music. It was like, pew, pew, boo, pew, 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 pew. And on the floor was like a logo that you could barely make out. That was actually the security for the building. So I was like, oh, this has something to do with, like, and like before I could understand that, there was 100 other things we had to go look at.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Like, I felt like I rushed, and we were there for 4 hours.
We were there for 4 hours, and I kind of know a thing that happened.
Yeah, there's some more that, like, because I do just read fast, there was some stuff I was explaining to you.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that we're talking about a Mega Mart and then a creepy bird just nearly flew into our window. And then at that point, we could either get on liftoff or eat something.
Yes.
We had not eaten since like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
So we had like pastries and sodas just in. We
also had to spend a lot of time buying things.
Yeah, we did spend a lot of time in the gift shop.
Yeah.
I was worried the gift shops were gonna like close because I thought the building closed at like 11. I'm gonna look right now, and I'm gonna be so upset if it turned out they closed later.
Well, I'm not sure. I know Omega Mart closed at 11.
Yeah.
Because they made an announcement like, attention shoppers, it is now 10 p.m. I don't know if all of Area 15 did, because in the time we had been in Omega Mart, we came out and a whole club opened.
Yeah.
There was a club called The Wall that was not there before.
11. Everything was open till 11.
That was now like full of people dancing and raving.
Like, I could have legitimately spent all day there.
Yeah, it was a high point of the journey.
It was so much fun. I felt there are 2-day passes, and I was like, who needs a 2-day pass? And I was like, I get it.
Yeah, there were 2 other buildings we didn't go into.
Yeah, there was an Army of the Dead VR themed after the Netflix movie.
Yeah.
And there was also a distillery that we didn't even, like, sniff past.
But yeah, what an amazing place Area 15 is.
Yeah, if you're ever in the Vegas area, go to Area 15.
Yeah, it's free to just walk around.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pay any money and do anything.
You could also buy stuff a la carte, which we probably should have maybe done, because I think we paid for a lot of stuff we didn't get to do.
Yeah.
But we didn't feel ripped off.
No.
Because we spent so long in Omega Mart, we didn't do those things. It's not like those things were unsatisfactory.
Yeah.
We just didn't get to do them.
Yeah. It was such a cool place, and man, did I love it. And, like, such a unique place. Like, it was like nowhere I'd ever been before. And
I would pay so much money for there to be one in New York or Philly or Baltimore or DC. Anywhere I could easily drive to and make that the whole point of my trip.
Yeah. What an amazing destination. And, like, because it's off strip, like, wasn't that crowded?
It was also a Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the stuff off strip, especially, you're going on a weeknight or a weekday.
Yeah.
Like, you're on vacation, but no one who lives in the area is going to those things on...
Right. So, do you have anything to say about Friday, really? Because Friday we just kind of were, like, viewing things and just kind of walking around. We didn't really do a lot of, like, destination stuff.
We did the other buffet, which was... By the way, don't go to Caesar's Bacchanal. It's really overpriced.
Yeah, Caesar's Bacchanal Buffet is there for... It's known for its crab. Mm-hmm. But I didn't leave New Jersey to fly to the desert to eat crab.
Yeah. The House of Gaga was finally open the last day we were there, which
Yeah.
was like a whole little Lady Gaga museum, including the taxidermied meat dress. So that was cool. We did a little gambling.
Did some gambling. Laura's a big winner. I'm a big loser.
We went to the Mirage and TI. Mirage we knew was closing. We found out how soon it was closing when we got home. The Mirage is closing in about 6 weeks, so we wanted to walk around before they turned it into a Hard Rock.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of just walking around, and then we had our final meal of the trip, which I kind of foreshadowed earlier. We went to Chin Chin in New York, New York.
Yes.
And if you hadn't gotten a cocktail, it would have been about the same amount of money as the crappy food court food we had at New York, New York at the beginning.
It was a family-style Chinese restaurant. So we got just like pork fried rice and a salad, a chicken salad,
And chili garlic wontons.
And there were just these giant bowls, and I was like, uh-oh, we may have over-ordered, even though we've only ordered 3 things. With, like, on gold plates with gold forks and gold chopsticks.
Yeah, which was very silly.
But that was an amazing meal. And, like, yeah, it would have been probably cheaper than the chicken sandwiches were had I not gotten a large cocktail. Large ticketed cocktail was a normal sized cocktail.
Yeah. I got a Diet Coke because I was pretty done drinking.
Yeah. It had liquor 43 in it, and our viewers will know that.
Yeah.
And I should say, we saw it everywhere, but we drank 0 beatboxes.
Yeah, but we did think of all of you. Every time we saw a beatbox, they sponsored the EDM festival that had been in town the previous week. So we screamed,
sponsor us, you cowards.
Yeah, we screamed like, how dare you?
So that was pretty much our trip.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, what would you say is your best?
I feel like you're going to say Area 15, so I'll say Play.
I would rank it. I can't believe this is the ranking. Area 15, Play, AEW Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, the other things were so incredible that, like, I often forgot, like, oh, we also saw one of the greatest wrestling pay-per-views of all time.
And I liked the 3 cocktail bars. I was always, like, relaxed and happy. I regret that the pool day was the same day as Area 15.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I kind of, like,
because
wished we had planned better.
Yeah, I mean, I got us the first Omega Mart showing that was night shift.
Yeah, I think it was just my ignorance of not really realizing how much outside of Omega Mart there was.
Yeah. And, like, you can see it on a website, but it doesn't really prepare you for how much that is. It was amazing.
Yeah, Vegas is great. And like I said, if you go in there with the idea that everything's $100, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's fun. And there's a lot of ways to cut how much money it is. If you don't really drink, we didn't spend a lot on food considering because we tended to eat like a meal and a half a day.
But I think we're well over 2 hours now, so I think that's going to do it for our trip.
We had
to
a lot
Vegas.
of fun. We're very tired.
Minus one thing that you will find out about next week. I promise we will eventually do Scorch.
Yeah.
This is going to be kind of a Vegas themed month because we have some other Vegas-y shows that we're considering doing. Unfortunately, we already did Viva Laughlin. But and we already did Push Nevada. But we have some ideas of what we're going to do this month that are going to stay on this kind of Vegas-y theme. So I'm very excited for that.
We're committing to the bit.
Where can people find us?
You can email us at thestaydoomedshow@gmail.com or on Facebook and Twitter @StayDoomed.
And if you feel like gambling, I'm at +2 Comedy on Twitter.
If you feel like exploring weird, cool cocktail bars, I'm at Priorities or Glitter and Glow Tape on Instagram. Glitter and Glow Tape on Instagram, my bad. Until next time, stay doomed.